Welcome back to another day in the life in my pursuit to greatness. So it's been quite eventful since the last video I recorded on Tuesday. So since the last video, I've participated in my first Hyrox event, which I'll go into and break down how I found it, how the event was, what I experienced, what I took out of it, what time I got and what I'm planning next. And our Grassroots team, TekkyFc under 16s, had a fixture today and it was a win. And it kind of connected with what I spoke about on the Tuesday day in the life as well, which I'll go into again in more detail. But next up, we've got the kit wash. So the kit wash is like my little therapy time where I put the kits in the wash, and as I'm putting the kits in the wash and cleaning them and scrubbing them, I break down how the game went and how my week went and what I'm planning on for the next week. In this episode, I'm not going to be showing too much of what I'm doing in terms of the planning and preparation. I'm just kind of going to be breaking down how the Hyrox event went and what I learned from today's fixture. So stay tuned. So we're back with another episode of the kit wash. And you know what? I put a poll out on our Instagram the other day saying, should we give it to the worst trainer to wash the kits or wash the bibs? Mostly wash the bibs, honestly. The poll said obviously we should give it to the worst trainer. And funny enough, one of the players turned up to training late. I was like, okay, why were you late? He's like, oh, I went to the dry cleaners. I said, perfect. So as I say, if you're watching this next week, the bibs are coming to you. And funny enough, I already told him about this week and he's still not took them. So he's getting 2 weeks. As I say, if you're watching, you got 2 weeks of bib washes. It's on you. So anyway, back to the kit wash time. So today, no, not even today, sorry. The Hyrox event, what experience that was.
Oh, good morning, my people. So the time's around 5:15 in the morning. Got Hyrox today. So looking forward to this one. It's going to be a tough battle out there. Not done something like this before, so it's my 5th and final event of the year. I'll give you an insight into what I've accomplished physically this year. But yeah, time to wake up, get a shower, get ready, and head over to South London to get the party started.
Showered, ready, we're good to go. I'm just going to have a quick little bite to eat and then we're going to set off to South London. This is my first time doing something like this, so I'm actually intrigued to see the difficulty of it, to see what it's actually going to be like. The training's been okay. It's not been the greatest, I'll be 100% honest with you. It's not been my most efficient training block, but I've got the work done. Been consistent with it. I've kept ticking over and I'm looking forward to actually experiencing just the event, the day and the moment. And yeah, let's see what it brings. So whenever I go through something difficult like this, or whenever I'm going through a physical pursuit or challenge, I always remind myself it's going to end. So no matter what pain you go through, it eventually will come to an end. And this time in a couple of hours, I'll be back here talking to you again, won't I? So when I'm in the moment, it's just kind of reminding myself that it will end. So the suffering is worth it because, it's for a cause, for a purpose. And yeah, we'll get through it. In a nutshell, I walked away from there thinking, I'm definitely going again and I'm definitely going to nail it a lot more than I did this time. For my first time, I was impressed, I was happy with it, and I walked away knowing that I still got a lot more left in my tank. And it was one of them things where I was like, do you know what? Considering I didn't train nowhere near my full capacity, I'm very happy with the time that I got and I was very happy with my performance. So I know this time round, when I look to go again, I'm going to train a lot more intelligently, for one, and a lot more consistently, because for whatever reason this training block I really struggled just finding my momentum and finding my groove, finding the consistency to train at the level I needed to train at. I just couldn't quite get in the groove, and I think that was mostly due to what I've put my body through this year, in terms of the physical side of things, in terms of the marathons that I've done this year. So I've run 2 marathons, 1 ultra marathon and a half a marathon, and thousands of miles training, like just running stupidly consistently from like last year's summer till now. So I think there was a lot of element of fatigue as well that really kicked in. I think also what's called seasonal changes, the lack of energy, lack of zest. So there's a few things that just really kicked into drive at the same time, and I couldn't quite, find my rhythm, but I knew I wasn't going to back out of it. There was certain times I was like, do I even go to this? I know I'm underprepared. I know I'm not as fit as I like to be. One thing I don't do is give up, and I'll persevere, I'll go through pain, and I'll turn up and do what I have to do. And I was quite apprehensive about it because I've never done nothing like this before, and I didn't train nowhere near to the level that I needed to. Some of the exercises I was doing, like this sled pull, the first time I tried it was in the little warm-up section. So when you do Hyrox, there's a little warm-up section where they've got like all the machines that you use. I was saying to Seth, the guy who got me to do this Hyrox, I was like, I've never done this before, how do I actually do it? Like, I was in this little bay and I was like, oh shit. So I grabbed it just to feel the weight. I was like, all right, cool, I'm just gonna pull it in it. One thing I know about it, I got to get it from one side to the other, so I've just kind of got to do that, right? So that was the first experience for me. Burpee jumps, I've never really done them like that anyway. So that was the first experience for me. The farmer carries, that was the first experience for me at that level. And the wall balls, that's the most wall balls I've ever done in my life. So it was a humbling experience. It was a beautiful experience, and I'm glad I did it because I've learnt loads. Like, my mind's like a computer anyway, like the way I process and learn things. So when I was there watching other people after I've done mine, I'm like decoding and I'm watching people's technique, I'm watching people's rhythm, I'm watching people's just how they're getting through it, and I was like, okay, that's what I didn't do. So next time I know what I'm gonna do. And the time I got was 1 hour 14. Respectful time, definitely room for improvement. And I know for a fact now, looking back, I could easily trim 10 minutes off that all overall. So next time round, I've got a target in mind that I'm gonna get. Not even gonna aim for, I'm gonna get it because I know what I'm capable of. And remember, this is something that I didn't train for, and it was my first time experience doing it. So looking back now, I'm like, okay, there's one, so much room for improvement. Two, my mind has experience of it now. And three, I've got a target in mind. So training starts on Monday again for the next one. And when my training block, when I say I'm gonna lock in, I'm gonna lock in. When I locked in for marathons, I was a different animal, different specimen. When I find that rhythm, find that zone, and I really center my focus on a target and objective, forget it. Forget it. I'm on it. So this time around, I'm really looking forward to it. I'm actually excited. I can't wait for Monday to come to get back in the gym and really attack it now. And on the morning of the Hyrox, I recorded some videos because I was going to vlog the day. Because I was a little bit apprehensive, a little bit anxious as well, I kind of just put my camera in my bag and just cracked on with the day. So I did record in the morning, and I put some snippets in here so you can see it in this vlog. But I didn't really record the day throughout the day. Riley and Seth got some videos here and there, but I didn't really actually capture the day because I was just too in my zone, and I put the camera in my bag, and then you got to put your bag in the bag drop. So it wasn't really a thing where I could capture content. If someone was recording me, it's a bit different, but because I was in control of it, I didn't really capture the day. So yeah, but overall, top experience, 100% going to do it again. Going to be a lot more prepared, and I'm going to achieve my target. Quite simple. So now we have TekkyFc's under 16s fixture. And funny enough, I was talking this week about, not blocking Matt and Riley's pathway and allowing them to, take centre stage and step up their influence and step up their position within TekkyFC and what they're doing and how the club's operating, how the brand's growing. And it's a time for me to kind of step back and step out of their way so they can flourish, grow, and do what they have to do, make mistakes, learn, and implement their own ideas and their own creativity and really put their stamp on TekkyFC. And for me, because I've been so deeply involved with TekkyFC, I've kind of seen it as pivotal for me to always be there, always be present, and ensure that everything is running in a certain way and the standards being met and the levels being raised and everyone's aligned and in sync, which is a good thing, but also it can be a detriment to the brand also, because then it's just one-centered and it becomes just your voice, and sometimes a fresh approach is needed, a fresh perspective is needed. And the boys were confident enough to step in and say, listen, no, it's our time now. I'm like, all right, cool, that's the way it's got to be. And for me, because all I've known is this, and all I've done is like coaching and influencing players and, being around players, leading groups, taking group sessions, one-to-ones, etc. It's all I've really known. Stepping away was not challenging, but it's just a new habit you've got to learn. And even like today at the game, obviously I was present, I was there, but I didn't say a word and I was fighting it. I was really just wanting to give the boys some words of encouragement, some words of inspiration. But I was like, no, I have to step back and let Matt do his thing. I have to allow him to enforce his message, enforce his philosophy, enforce what he wants to share and do. And it's important my guidance and my influence is there. And, I do share what I feel is going to help inspire the players to go to the next level. The reason why we're so serious with this and the reason why we take this approach is because player development for us it's our obsession. Like, I don't say that word lightly either. Like, the way we break things down and the way we take this, we are generally serious. And people will say it's only grassroots. Yes, it is. But we have an elite mentality because we work with players that are in an elite environment. Some players, not some, a lot of players are professional players that we work with. So we've got to have a certain mentality, and people come to us because they know we get results and they know we are serious and we approach things in a certain way. In order for the brand and the players to grow, we have to have a certain approach. We have to have a certain mentality. This is why we're approaching grassroots to where we are, and it's going to take time. It's not been an easy journey at all. It's not been an easy process at all, but you know, we're finding a good little system between myself, Riley and Matt, where it's beginning to work, and we're still figuring out the best format of how we can deliver what we're trying to deliver, and our philosophy, and how we're going to embed that into players that are just come to us. And it's like kind of a makeshift squad, and you know, we're very intense, and there's so many different things we have to kind of iron out to get our model bulletproof in order for it to be right. Okay, this is who we are, this is how we play, this is what we do. And at Grassroots, you find different levels of players, different abilities, and because we're used to working with academy players and high level players, you know, the level does drop a little bit. And that was a big challenge for me as well, is like not so much having to lower my standards, but having to change my approach, having to change my message, having to change my expectation and my demands. That was really challenging because, you know, the world I've come from, then stepping into a Grassroots world is quite different, and you have to be able to adapt, you have to be able to change, you have to be able to influence boys that may not have the ambition to go to the next level. They may just want to enjoy playing football, but because my message and my ethos and my focus has been so like, be the best you can be and go to the next level and go to the top. And sometimes, like I say, with players that don't want to do that, that's not what they're here for. They're here to enjoy, they're here to mingle with their friends and just play football. So I think over the last 2 years, that's something that's really sung home to me, the importance of being able to adapt my style and understand how to meet players where they are, rather than looking at their potential and thinking everyone wants to realise potential. Some people are happy and content with where they are and they just want to grow naturally. Some people are more driven and determined and want to push themselves to the next level. And some players, like I say, don't understand, you know, what's even required. So I think with this project and what we're doing with it, like, I'm glad it's forming the way it's forming organically, and it's happening through a lot of mistakes and a lot of defeats. Every defeat's taught us something new. It's made us realise what's not working and what things need to change. I'm humble enough, if you want to call it humble, or reflective enough to know, okay, maybe it's not my voice these boys need to hear now. Maybe it's not my voice they need to hear in that kind of capacity. You know, I speak to the boys in a different way now. I take them aside and, you know, I have my own methods of getting through to the boys, and it's amazing to see this transition. And even for me, like, having to adapt and grow to this transition, I'm looking forward to the next phase of TekkyFc in terms of building more teams and, you know, seeing what Matt and Riley can really go out there and do. Because today, after last week, we got beat in the first round of the London Cup, which we shouldn't have got beat, but it happens, you know, you learn from it. But today we won 6-5, and I feel like if myself and Matt and Riley didn't have this conversation last week about what needs to change and what we need to do, today's game would have gone a similar fashion as last week. But today the boys had energy, they had spirit, they had fight, you know, there was a new sense of life within them. And I was just observing, I was watching, I didn't get involved today. Like, I just spoke to a couple of boys here and there. They were just different. That's because we changed and we reflected and we knew things had to be tweaked. The way the game went, there was 2-0 down and they brought it back and they conceded again. They got level, then they went ahead, then they conceded again. Then they just found the rhythm. They just kept going and kept going. It was just like this relentless push, this desire, this belief, this urgency to want to win. And that's not something that they've displayed like they displayed today. And I said to Matt after the game, like, we'll go for some food, and we broke it down. And when we were speaking about the squad, you could see it in his eyes, like there was this burning desire to, like, no, I want to go again. I want to strengthen it. I want to improve it. I want to evolve it. So obviously it's working. And as I mentioned before, there's a new era upon us, and I'm looking forward to seeing what them boys can do. Anyway, to the kit wash, as I was saying, see, last week I told you about the black marks. I'm sure if you can see it. Can you see it? But all these kits, the only thing about the AstroTurf, there's one of them that's just a mess. Where is it? Let me find it. Look at this one here. Might as well be the black kit. Look at it. That's what I've got to deal with, boys. That's what I get up to on my Saturday night. And this one here as well. Stay at this. Guess whose kit this one is as well? That's what I say. I've got this one here as well. But yeah, I'm going to get through these kit washes now, and then I'll have a little recap with you all, and then I'm going to head off, read, sleep, and get ready for tomorrow. I may record tomorrow because we've got another exciting day for the brand tomorrow, but I might just let us all just enjoy the moment. Let's see. So that's the white kit's done. One bottle down, we're on to our next bottle. You probably think, why do you do the washing up liquid? My auntie taught it me one time, and since then I've just stuck with it, and I like just this little process of just washing the kits, man. I think it's something that's good to do. It keeps me grounded. It reminds me every day of how blessed I am to be able to do this. And yeah, it just shows the little small details of what we go through when you're building a grassroots team. I could go to the laundrette. I could, get it done, but I like this little time that I have when I reflect as I'm washing the kits, because before I was doing this YouTube, I just to do this at home anyway. No cameras, just me reflecting on the game, figuring out, okay, what we've got to do to turn things around, what we've got to do to keep improving these players, etc., etc. So yeah, now you're just seeing it. So what I've been doing, it's my little downtime, where I reflect and go over what needs to be done. So now I'm going to put these in the wash and then crack on with what I've got to do. As promised, I'm going to be taking you on a journey. I'm going to be showing you the ins and outs. I'm going to be letting you know my thoughts, how I process, where the brand's going. And what you begin to realise is TekkyFc is a massive part of my life, and it's an amazing and special place to be at the moment. How we're growing, the impact we're having, the success that we're having. I want to take you on a journey, and you're going to see how it evolves and also why it evolves, the conversations that are happening and the result of those conversations. Like this week I spoke about, again, the biggest topic was Matt and Riley stepping in and doing the thing, and Matt leads the team to victory. And you might only think, oh, it's grassroots, it's only a small victory, but to us, for the mission that we're on, it signifies something way more deeper than that. So stay tuned for the next episode. If you're still here, thank you for watching. It really does mean a lot. Please like, please comment, please subscribe, and share this with a friend. But if you don't, for whatever reason, you don't have to. It's not by force, it's by choice. So yeah, choose the right choice anyway. Lots of love, take care, I'm out.